picture this. It was the evening of May 20th, 1947, and the body of 22-year-old Christina Kettlewell was found 150 feet from a cottage where her and her newly married husband were staying while on their honeymoon. Was this an accidental death or a dangerous love triangle? Today's case may end with more questions than answers. Okay, let's go. Christina. She was born on the 7th of August 1925 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Oh. That's right. This one is for our Canucks. Oh. Canadian people.
I've never heard of that term, but I'm excited.
Oh, Canuck. If you're from Canada, can you tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly? Canuck. Apparently it is a very well-known case in Canada. Like, a lot of people know about it. So she was born to parents Casimir and Mary McCon. Casimir. Yeah, no. When I was reading that, I was like, Cashmere? No.
That's what I was like, Cashmere?
Yeah, Cashmere, like the clothing, like fancy clothing. No, just Casimir.
Casimir outside?
Casimir outside. I can't believe you brought bad baby into this. This is horrible. So I know, like, pretty much next to nothing about her upbringing, but what I do know is that her parents were Polish immigrants.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry, yeah.
Shit.
And that they were, like, strictly Roman Catholic.
Story checks out.
Probably, because I think around the time they probably would have been. Even now, would you say that might be? Probably.
Yeah.
So, well, upbringing and stuff is normally quite important in the case. I don't think in this one it necessarily is. Just came across as like a well-adjusted, well-raised woman. She did work in a bank, which is why I was like, oh, I worked for a bank. Though she was probably like not doing what I was doing. Because I was like a credit card specialist, and I would always just help wives find out what their husbands were spending their money on. It was great.
So sick.
Yeah, well, they had retailer codes, and women would call up all the time and like, what is this place? I've never been there. I was like, oh, that's a massage parlor, ma'am. Needless to say, they were not happy. They'd be like, I've never been to one. I was like, I know, but you are the subsidiary holder on this account. It was from the main card. You might want to talk to your husband, doll.
Check that out, doll.
Anyway, back to the bank. So her employers would refer to her as a very capable employee, which is great. That's what you want. Good. So not knowing much other than that, let's talk about John Ray Kettlewell, who went by the name of Jack Swoon. Let me tell you right now, I personally saw this man, and I'm about to show you a photo of him.
Should have left my glasses on, shouldn't I?
Oh, that's right. And I was like, for back in the day, like even now, I would ride that like a roller coaster, honey. Oh. And I showed a colleague at work, and they were like, oh. And I was like, what is wrong? What is wrong? I think he's like 1940s cute.
Oh,
like,
you can get it.
Would you put that in you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely would. Which is why
he's got like the black hair, the suit.
Yeah, the jawline.
Oh,
I think he would probably be a short king, but he was still like...
Take me out for burger and fries.
Yeah, and I'll suck your dick in the car. No? Maybe. Maybe.
Take me to the cinema.
Fuck you. You don't even have to be cute to take me to the cinema. When the lights go down.
I'm sorry. No, but he is very attractive. Also, you can cut that out. I was just being a dick.
I'm not going to cut that out. I don't think I will.
I don't feel like anyone will know.
Only the people
just
I've told.
Yeah.
Don't keep it a secret that I'm like a dick fiend in the cinema. It's crazy. It's not good. Sorry, mum. So Jack was a war veteran, and he would eventually marry Christina, but he was kind of like a package deal. And I don't mean like, Italian, you married the mother as well as the son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She kind of got this guy, and it was kind of like two for the price of one deal you just didn't want, because he came with a best friend named Ronald Barry. He was previously known as Ronnie Ciuffo, Italian immigrant.
All that was going through my head was that TikTok. Steve. Steve. You know the best friend one? Oh, Ronald, read the room.
It was very that. But he wouldn't read the room. Are you kidding me? He was also a professional ballroom dancer. And to me, it sounds really sus. But I have to show you. Like, remember Jack?
Yeah, is this guy redhead?
Beautiful. No. Remember beautiful Jack. Oh, swoon Jack.
Swoon City.
Meet Ronnie.
Oh, Ronnie. I didn't even need to get up close for that one.
You're probably
Ronnie.
like further back.
Oh, bless Ronnie.
No.
And you know he would have looked up to Jack as well.
Well,
We both got dark hair.
yeah. Well, I don't think that's all he was doing to Jack. That's just my opinion.
Oh.
So Ronald was Jack's best friend, and the two were pretty much joined at the hip. Like, we are like best friends, but that was like, they probably ate ice cream out of each other's assholes. Like, they were that close.
Oh.
Like, I love you, girl, but it was like a really intense friendship to the point where it was like 3 of them in the relationship. Yeah. And it's not like they just met up like once or twice a week. They were reportedly together all the time. Like almost a day all the time. All the time. And this even led a sister of Christina to, I think she confronted Ronnie or even Christina, because they believe that Ronald had been in love with Christina, and that's why he had been hanging around so much. Because Ronnie really loved Christina. And yeah, so her sister Helen went up to her and was like, oh, I think he's in love with you, see? And she was like, I don't think he is.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah, he's in love with one of us, but
Yeah,
I
it's not me, sis.
don't think it's me, don't worry. There's kind of 2 people in a relationship. Unless you're in a trouble, then that's okay, because that's the arrangement of the relationship, right? But this was not that. It also didn't really help that Jack was not Roman Catholic, and that was something that Christina's parents hated, because it's kind of like the Jewish thing, right? Like, my Jewish daughter should marry a Jewish man, or vice versa. I'm guessing it was just very, very, very similar. Anyway, on the 12th of May, 1947, they would elope. Pop. Because, obviously, they weren't going to get the parents' blessing because he's not Roman Catholic. And at the end of the day, you didn't need your parents to sign on the dotted line. So after they would get married, they would spend the first few days in an apartment on Tyndall Avenue. And Ronald insisted to join them on their honeymoon.
Oh, yes.
So he was also locked up in this apartment with them. And first of all, can we put a pin in that? How awkward would that be?
Read the room.
Yeah. Like,
Honeymoon.
I love you and I love Andrew. Can you imagine how awkward it would be if I went with you guys and I sat there while you're getting a good old porking on your honeymoon?
I was literally about to say I can picture Ronald in the middle, Jack, and then Christine like, what are we going to do now, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Or are they cucking Ronald? Like, is Ronald up in the corner just...
Cucking away?
That's gross. Anyway, on the 17th, they would travel to a remote cottage in Severn Hills. Yeah.
Oh.
This cottage was owned by Ronald.
Oh, no.
And the only way to get there was by boat.
Oh, no.
Foreshadowing. Now, I saw photos that I did not prepare, I'm so sorry, of this cottage. And it did not look like it would have had enough space for all 3 of them to kind of be cooped up on this honeymoon for. That's just my opinion. Like, maybe it did, I don't know. Maybe they were going to sleep in bunk beds, I don't know. Or maybe on top of each other. Maybe stacked.
Ronald sandwich.
Yeah.
I'll jump on you, Jack. Coming in from behind.
Sometime within the next 3 days, Christina's mood would change. She started acting out of character, and she would go into like hysteric crying fits, and other times she'd seem completely out of it and like dazed.
I mean, if I had a best friend, partner's best friend joining too, I'd probably be the same.
Yeah, I just want to get dicked.
I just want to be alone and get dicked.
I just want to get dicked, and Ronald won't go away. Do you know what? Maybe that, hysteria. Me too, girl.
Wedding. Come on.
Yeah, there's just meant to be lots of fucking.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay. You're married. It's not wrong.
No.
It's not wrong even if you're not married, but still, these times it would have been pretty bad. Now, in doing this case, I did look up articles, and because there's not a heck of a lot of stuff, I was also listening to like other people's podcasts, just to get like a feeling
Yeah.
of it. And there was evidence suggesting that Christina had conversations with Ronald about her relationship with Jack, and she was questioning whether or not he actually loved her. But without them being caught on camera or like a voice recording or an eyewitness, I don't know how the evidence could have been produced to corroborate that. But what I do know is if it were from Ronald, like it was Ronald who said that this stuff happened, and he's the only one that knows, and he's the only one that can report that this stuff happened and that Jack was never aware of it, then did it really happen? Food for thought. On the 20th of May, Christina would disappear from the cottage, which, strangely, around the same time managed to catch on fire. But Ronald somehow swooped in to save Jack's life. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Right, and just in the nick of time, because he found Jack dazed in the cottage, and he had been hit or something in the head. He had been knocked unconscious or something. He'd been unconscious, and he found him just in the nick of time, pulling him to safety. He said he also looked for Christina, but he just could not find her.
I looked around, I couldn't see her.
Yeah. I tried.
I
Jack,
looked everywhere.
Jack, I tried. I just couldn't find her, that ugly bit. I mean, I just couldn't find her, that beautiful woman. You know something was going down. They were tickling each other's fight boxes, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, it's weird for, you always have a bit of bromance, but it's weird for men to get,
Like that.
yeah, uncommon, because they don't really need that from other men. Not to say it's bad, you know what I mean. Picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down, alright. Oh, yeah. Ronald said that the cottage was burnt down to the ground within an hour, so he took Jack back to his boat, because remember, it can only be done by boat, to travel back to his car to take him to the hospital. And he also contacted the cops when he was there. And I did think about that too. I was like, well, why wouldn't he just call from there? And I was like, oh, because his house burnt down, there's no phone, there were no mobile phones. Maybe it was just like, well, everything's gone.
Yeah, in my head is their neighbours close by. Yeah. Weird.
Now, later that evening, Christina's lifeless body was found, still in her pajamas and floating in just 9 inches of water.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, 9 inches of water. That's like that. Yeah, he always told me that was 9 inches. So, yeah, like that.
So get your forearm and you do a bath.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So, but you can lie down on your back and not drown
Yeah.
in that technically, right?
Yeah.
So how do you drown in 9 inches of water? But when she was found, it was by Neville Sweet. Neville Sweet. What a name.
I don't know.
Not that sweet now. Well, that would sour your life experience, I think, if you find someone dead.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, see, he owned a boathouse nearby in the area. So maybe he could have called. Mind you, it's a boathouse. So, like, it would have just been a boat. Probably did not have a phone on it.
Yeah.
We can assume it wouldn't have. And it was reported that when she was found, there were no signs of burning or even violence committed to her body before or after death. She was just dead in water. Which to me also says no sign of struggle. There's no perimortem wounds. She's just dead in her pajamas. Strangely though, her body was not found in that area earlier in the day when the fire was burning, because someone had actually gone to that same location to get water in a bucket to try to put the fire out, but she wasn't there then.
Oh, what?
It's a little bit weird, don't you think? And an autopsy was even done, and they found traces of codeine in her stomach. But I've got nothing.
But got none.
Because it's like, okay, there was a fire. She went missing, right? She's on a honeymoon with her husband, and there was some fucking string-along ding-dong who went with them. Where was he when this stuff happened? Because apparently he had gone out, And he came across the place on fire when he returned to the cottage. Where did he go?
And old love's just
she's
shown up
gone.
with codeine in her.
She's got codeine in her stomach. There was no reference to how Jack was, like, made unconscious. I believe he didn't report anything like, oh yeah, she came and she hit me, or anything like that. He was found unconscious. So, or dazed, sorry. Well, something has to happen for that to happen. But going back to the codeine, I reckon that could explain how someone could drown in 9 inches of water, right? Like, codeine makes you feel nice and warm inside. And you just feel very relaxed and just peaceful. And if you have, like, a lot of it, I'm sure you would be...
Yeah, like, did she have too much and then she's kind of passed out or something?
Well, because it's an opiate, isn't it, too? And that makes you, like, a bit drowsy. And that could also explain why she'd been in these moods the whole time. Like, maybe she was being fed this stuff and didn't know she was on it, and then you withdraw them from it. They're gonna not know what they're needing.
Yeah.
So could she have been getting fed this stuff the whole time
Yeah.
and not known? Who knows? But what I do know is that 22 people were questioned in connection with the incident that took place. That also includes Jack and Ronald. Jack was only questioned for about 3 hours, whereas Ronald was questioned for 13 hours. And Ronald had a lot to say, to the point where he even ended up writing a 3,000-word essay.
Oh, fuck me. I'm going to write a letter.
Yeah, he came prepared. And I called it an essay, but it was just a statement of what happened. But even then, the police referred to the statement as fantastic. And I don't mean like, wow, amazing. They're like, this is like some fantastic tale, sis. Like, the fuck? Like, that's a bit out of there.
It's a bit pre-planned.
The pre-planning gets a little bit better. But don't worry, he still didn't do it. It wasn't him. He didn't do it.
I'm not even thinking that.
Yeah. An inquest commenced on the 19th of June, and the courtroom was packed full of onlookers. Because this was just such a weird, fantastic, amazing, not good, but like thing that happened in Canada, right? Where people are like, oh my God, this is wild.
We're Canadians.
We're
nice.
Canadians. We are good. People don't do bad things in Canada.
Not in Canada.
Hashtag I do love Canada. So
Same.
if there's a man out there that's looking for a husband, you better be a Canuck. But it had really become quite the thing. There are even people queuing to get autographs of Jack and Ronald because they're local celebrities now. Because, like, what the fuck? Like, he had this wife. He'd been married to her for, like, 8 days. She was fine for the first 5 when they're in the apartment. But, we go to little Ronald's little cottage, which is secluded somewhere where there's no one who can help you. All of a sudden, she starts acting funny. She's found dead. The house burns down. It's not Ronald. Yeah. So, all in all, that's a bit weird. They would be star witnesses, but they were never part of the actual trial, so they're never accused of the murder itself. And that seems really strange to me, considering they were the last 2 people to see her alive. Don't you think that's weird?
This is my thinking face.
Got my thinking face on.
My little brain. Yeah, that's not right.
And the inquest, just so that we can be clear for everyone, was just to decide whether or not they felt that there was any foul play involved. It wasn't to charge anyone really at that point. And lots of crap came out of the woods, most of which was from the essay that Ronald had provided to the police. And he claimed that there were suicide attempts by poisoning, as in this is what Christina had told him, that she had tried to kill herself because she just couldn't stand the idea of Jack not really loving her and being in the arms of another woman. So she preemptively wanted to kill us. I don't understand it.
Yeah, no.
No, if I love someone that much, I'm sorry, but I'm killing you first and then me. And then I don't have to worry about ever seeing you with another woman.
Yeah.
Because you're dead.
Yeah.
And you're with me now.
We are now one.
That's right. I digress. Yeah, so he claimed that she said that there were suicide attempts by poisoning, which other people tried to connect the dots on and say, oh, well, maybe that's why she was acting so out of it, because she was poisoning herself on her fucking honeymoon.
Yeah, story checks out.
With 2 full-grown men in the house. Yeah, right. And something about her taking both her and Jack's lives, and some other shit written that she was to give to Ronald to post out after she died. I don't know. But these letters, right? Because, I mean, you could just say a letter happened, but where's the proof that this letter happened?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that not only did Ronald have time to save Jack, he had time to go find these letters that she had written.
Yeah.
And put them in his pocket before the house burnt down to a crisp.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just believe him, duh. Coming from someone who likes to write an essay, here's some pre-prepared letters.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if this also points the compass in the way of him. Again, like everything goes back to Ronald.
Yeah.
But Jack knew none of this until the inquest, and apparently it was Ronald's way of trying to spare his feelings, because why would I want my best friend to know about that stuff that's just going to upset him? It's just not fair. It's not a cover-up. I just love him. And okay, to be fair, Ronald wasn't legally accused of anything. But you just need to follow the breadcrumbs, or in this case, follow the loaves of bread. And it all leads back to him. It all leads back to Ronald.
It's Ronald. Case closed.
It's closed. He's arrested. Let's move on.
What the
No,
hell?
I don't know. So it would also come out that Ronald, by mere coincidence,
Yeah.
took out 2 separate life insurance policies. Yeah, for $5,000 a piece on Jack and Christina, just right before their marriage. But this policy also had a doubling clause on it, which meant that if the death was to happen by accident, just something weird, then that value would double. So the 5 would turn to 10, etc., etc. But he took it out on both of them. So to me, that makes me think, oh, wait, he was probably going to kill Jack too.
Had second thoughts.
Yeah, because his policies were taken out on these people, but in his name.
Did they know?
No. No. But I don't even know if Jack found out.
Wild.
So I don't know if it even got back to Jack that his gay lover, sorry, like,
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what they were. Was trying to kill them and get money for them. Anyway, that value today, if he were to claim it, if he were to get it on both of them, would be worth about $260,000 worth of insurance. But that's not where it stops. He also took out a separate $5,000 insurance on the cottage he burnt down.
Silly little egg. Wild.
Wild. But it's all a coincidence.
Yeah, winky dink.
Yeah, nothing ever happened on purpose. So eventually, Jack, for some reason, would even ice out his entire family, because he would remarry 3 years later. But he would ice them out and leave everything he had to Ronald in his will. Again, not something you just do to a friend, especially when you have children.
So no one else was on it.
I mean, I don't know if that's what happened by the time he died, but it was written into his will originally. So yeah, Ronald will be the sole beneficiary of the will.
Did Jack know?
Well,
Wild.
I think he did. Yeah, it was signed by Jack. So Jack signed off on it. Yeah, so I'm not sure if he had ever actually changed that. There are interviews that have happened since with like Jack's kids or grandkids or something that knew about some things that happened.
Yeah.
So there might be a little bit more information there if people want to go look at it. In 1956, Ron would leave his dog. It was a Pyrenees. Pyrenees. It was a dog. To Jack's son. I don't even know how it is. I probably wrote that down somewhere, but I don't know. So Ronald would leave his dog and then vanish to New York, and Jack would never hear from him ever again.
What?
He straight up, just after all these years of being with him, and they would go on holidays together.
Bitch.
They would go up north on holidays, just the 2 of them.
Brokeback Mountain. I've never seen that movie.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
sad. You should.
I don't know if I want to. I don't like sad films.
Neither, but sometimes I watch them just to feel something.
I just want to feel anything.
It's true, and I cry, and then I feel better. Yeah. There were a lot of people who believed that Jack and Ronald were in a secret relationship for many, 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 many reasons. But I don't believe this was ever admitted by either of them. And obviously, when Jack would eventually die, he died a married man to like a lady, and Ronald was no longer anywhere to be seen. I don't know. There's like quite a few different opinions on what happened, on who was or wasn't involved. Was it Ronald with Jack being kept in the dark? Was it Jack? Was Jack involved? We don't really know if he was or he wasn't, or if he was forced into it and made to be compliant because of the friendship he had with Ronald,
Yeah.
whom he knew, I believe, before he ever met Christina. So he was kind of like the first bitch on the block, you know? Don't know. And I guess we'll never actually truly know, Mung Beans. And that was this week's case on the mysterious death of the 8-day bride. Oh. What do you think?
I'm processing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He so did it and they broke up, or he started to feel guilty, or he was sick of playing the best friend in the relationship.
Yeah. Or
And he's gone, see ya.
Well, maybe he knew the whole time he wasn't the best friend in the relationship, you know? Like maybe Jack truly loved both of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, given what times were like back then for gay people, I'm sure even in Canada, which is a lot more accepting now, but I'm certain that it would have been frowned upon. But apparently his family, Jack's family, were confused that he was getting married to Christina because they believed that he was in a relationship with Ronald. So they were like, we don't even know why he married her.
Yeah.
When he was kind of with...
Doesn't even go here.
With this other guy. So I heard, when I read a little bit about that, I was like, oh, I mean, but that's also kind of dope though. Like imagine being in the 40s or whatever and having a family that are kind of accepting of that, when that could see you getting beaten the fuck up and killed.
When did he go to New York?
1956.
Because I was going to say close to the 60s, New York, underground clubs.
I mean, he would have had access to more people in New York than he did in Ontario.
I so think he did it.
There is no way that he didn't do it, especially when you find out that he also took out life insurance on these
Yeah,
people.
that's just...
And home insurance.
That was very
mental.
good.
But, Mung Beans, that brings us to an end for today's episode. So you tell us, do you think that Ronald did it? Do you think they were in a secret throuple? Do you think that she was just a part of it for, I don't know, a cover-up? Was it Christina the Beard?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Goodbye.
Bye.